Hello everybody, it is I, Acorsairdare, content creator extraordinaire, holy shit bars, that uploads once every other year, here to talk about things, in a very unorganized, directionless way again, because I do not have the energy or effort or passion to write a script, nor do I think I would be able to follow it, because I like talking about things as they come to my mind. So, yeah, we're not doing scripts. Too linear for me. And you're here watching this anyway, so I assume you're okay with it. Because, yeah, you're here. Goated reasoning. And, if you don't like these kinds of videos, then, fuck off. I'm just kidding. Feel free to not watch. I know a lot of people don't like videos like this, or I guess discussions like this, because I feel like these kinds of videos slash discussions have been like, yeah, very prominent lately, especially, but like they've kind of been around for a while, you know, with like other YouTubers, or well, I guess calling myself a YouTuber is a bit generous, you know, just content creators and players, talking about why they don't like DBD, why they're tired of it, why they're burnt out, yada yada. I know some people find these discussions kind of annoying or overplayed, and you know, that's fine, because to some extent I can understand that, because at face value a lot of this just looks like people complaining about the game, you know, and like there's already enough complaining in this community, so like I completely get it. But I have recently found myself in a similar place, not enjoying the game, feeling very burnt out. It's kind of crazy actually, because I've been playing DBD for quite a while, and since year 3, Ghostface release, and I despite like how much my love for the game has, you know, fluctuated between like small and big, I always found a reason to somewhat enjoy it, no matter what, you know, no matter like my general feelings. Like I always found something to enjoy in the game, and lately I just have not. I just have not been finding the game fun at all. I think it's very exhausting to play. And yeah, those reasons like that are why I haven't even really played the game at all, like within like the last 2 or 3 weeks. Well, I suppose that's not entirely true, because when 2v8 came out, the Resident Evil 2v8, I got on the game, bought the 2 new killer skins because I thought they looked really cool. I played 1 match as Wesker in 1v4, downed a player within 20 seconds. I think it was a Meg. Once I downed them, they DC'd, and 2 other people DC'd after them. I played through the match, let the last person who was not a bot survive, and I got off the game because I was like, wow, this game never changes. This is really boring. I'm gonna go play Power World. So that has been my most recent DBD match, and I have not been playing the game very much at all recently, because I just do not, again, I do not find it fun anymore. And a lot of the time when I feel this way, I come to like, you know, the whole like conflicting feelings of wanting to just leave the game entirely, but I feel like a part of me will always want to come back to DBD because I've invested a lot in it. But I don't really know. Like it just feels a bit different this time. I sort of wanted to put together like a video kind of expressing all my feelings about the game currently. You know, I guess more so just how I have felt about the game entirely over the last couple of years, you know, like how my feelings have shaped, how my feelings have evolved or devolved, and I kind of just wanted to put it all together as closure for myself, you know, because though I might still play DBD from time to time, I don't think I want to pursue content creation with it anymore, because I don't know. It already feels like a grueling task to play the game, So, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't think that I'm going to want to do anything with this game anymore. Especially when there's other games out there that I've really been enjoying, and I've been getting back into horror games and stuff like that, so yeah, there's that. But yeah, I kind of wanted to do this as closure for myself, you know, to sort of put everything out there that I've been feeling, that I've been sitting on, and that I have been holding in towards this game, and more specifically its community. So yeah, here goes. Oh, wait, never mind. Quick little like note. I did have like a more artsy kind of project with Dead by Daylight, like a video I was doing that I was going to upload, but you know, once I stopped playing it and stuff like that, I just made no progress on that video. That video might still come out. I might have the drive to finish it because I don't actually have to really play the actual game to do it, but that's still a big if, so I just wanted to put that out there. There might be one more DBD video somewhere after this, but after that, I don't plan to make any videos for this game anymore. So, with all of that out of the way, I think I hit everything I wanted to. Let's get into it. We'll start a bit tame, and then, you know, go to the what I see as, you know, my biggest issues with the game. So we'll start pretty easy. First of all, let's talk about game design. Everybody's favorite. I have never really like had that big of an issue with the game design and stuff, you know, even when they've made like very egregious choices, you know. I've always kind of just been like, whatever, you know, things will change, things will you know, get nerfed or buffed or whatever, you know, and it's whatever. I've always kind of been pretty open to whatever they do, you know, but I feel like there's been times in this game where just behavior like goes back and forth with changing things, buffing, nerfing, and stuff like that, and it seems like a lot of the time they never really know what to do or what they want to do with things. You know, it still feels like they're stuck between a rock and a hard place with trying to figure out if they want to make this game more of a party game or more of a balanced competitive experience, you know, like people clamor for on Reddit and shit like that. But a lot of the time it seems like they put resources and effort into making changes, and then they immediately go back on those changes, or they make very weird changes or game design decisions that like just make no sense to anyone or that nobody asked for, and they're I don't know, just the things they choose to address and not address is very odd to me, especially when when there's more problems in the game that have been around for years in some cases, and they choose to change. They just haven't done anything about them, yet they will change, you know, other things that are completely unrelated to the bigger issues, or just that nobody asked for at all. It's very strange to me. I know listening to your player base is important, you know, because most of the time I do think players have good suggestions in mind, or I don't even know if I believe in that, to be honest with you. I'll say there's a good portion of players who have good suggestions in mind, but I feel like and this might just be like a conspiracy on my part or speculation, but I feel like behavior is so lost with their game design decisions that they have like resorted to you know, just listening to people on Twitter or Reddit, or just, you know, like very, very vocal players who are like super miserable or whatever. They listen to, you know, their complaints or their desires for certain changes to characters, perks, and stuff like that, without like really taking into account like the gravity of doing so, and they just do it because someone screamed about it on a forum or something. I'm not sure how much of a popular opinion that is, but I feel like, especially recently, with their gameplay design decisions and stuff like that, that has been very, very apparent or just prominent, I've noticed. Maybe it's just a weird coincidence, but I feel like behavior doesn't really stand by a lot of their game design decisions, and they just, you know, they listen to whoever's being super vocal about it and they change it based off of that, and then like they go back on it sometimes, and then they go back to it, and then they go back, and then they go back, you know, like they're just going in circles a lot of the time. And just, I know game design isn't easy, but I kind of wish behavior would stand on something a little bit more in terms of game design, because it just feels like they go back and forth between, not, you know, the party game aspect, then the competitive aspect. It seems like they genuinely don't know what they want their game to be. And, you know, that's okay, but I just feel like their decisions in these patches and stuff like that, or, you know, their announcements for changes and stuff like that, and PTVs and stuff like that, I wish they stood on their 2 feet a little bit more and were like confident in their decisions, and just didn't constantly keep playing hot potato with you know, balance changes, character changes, perk changes. Like, I just wish they would stand on things, let things marinate, take a more logical approach to things, instead of seemingly spontaneously changing shit out of the blue for no fucking reason. I wish they would. I just wish they would stand on their 2 feet a little bit more and seem confident in what they're doing, because a lot of the time I see, you know, changes happen, and then the next patch they revert the changes, or, you know, they just keep on modifying them and stuff, and it's just like, move to something that actually needs to be fixed. Game breaking bugs, you know, using like sometimes you can play as like Chucky and Wesker and try to like scamper under a pallet or vault over it, and your character will just not do it, and they'll stand in place, and they'll just not be able to fucking use their power effectively. Like, why are bugs like this still in the game? Like, I'm pretty sure the Wesker car bug is still a thing. I know for a fact, and I have video proof of this, that sometimes when you play as Chucky and try and scamper a window, it just won't work, and your power will be completely deactivated for the rest of the match. Why isn't this stuff getting fixed faster? Why are game-breaking bugs and stuff like this still in this game? I know it's something that gets suggested a lot, but this game is in dire need of an Operation Health. They really need to. I know they want to push out new content and stuff like that. I completely get it. I know it's exciting for people too, but I genuinely think a health update would benefit this game so greatly right now. I think they just need to kind of pull back on new content development and just iron out a lot of issues in the base game that really need fixing. Even though it's been a bit stale to me lately, I've never really thought that the gameplay was like the biggest issue for me, you know? I've always had fun playing the game. I probably will always have fun playing the game, no matter how bizarre their decisions are with it. But my biggest issue, and I think a lot of people's biggest issues, is the Dead by Daylight community. Holy shit, the Dead by Daylight community is insufferable. I'm sorry. And of course there's diamonds in the rough, right? Of course there's sweet, wholesome, genuine people in this community, and I appreciate them because they truly do counterbalance the sheer amount of shitty ass ball-sucking toxicity that plagues this game, so much so that people who don't even play Dead by Daylight know of it for its community, for its infamous community. Dead by Daylight has a very devoted fan base, and in a lot of ways I think that's respectable, you know? People love this game. But at the same time, at that end, despite how loyal people are because of how much they've invested in it, why does it seem like absolutely everybody fucking hates playing this game? I mean, everybody knows about the DC epidemic. it truly is a big problem. And then Survivor's just unfun because it's just tunnel camp simulator, which is like, I understand why killers do it. I'm not like trying to diss the playstyle in that regard, because I know that it's like strategically the correct thing to do if you want to win. But it's so boring just doing it match after match after match. But I feel like sometimes I'll see like content creators like say that they think this game has gotten a lot better, like balance wise and community wise. Balance wise, yes, it has gotten a lot fairer, but I don't know if I necessarily agree with people who say that they think the community has gotten more positive, or just not hard-headed. I just don't see it at all. I don't know if it's just my servers or whatever, but I see people getting mad all the fucking time in this game, no matter what you do. It doesn't matter the killer you're playing. I'm convinced that at this point, yeah, there's a hierarchy of hated killers in this game versus loved ones, but it just seems like it doesn't matter. It seems like people just hate you for playing killer, or people hate you for doing well as survivor in a chase. Like everyone hates everything in this game. The D scene is off the walls, of course. Like I said, recently I have made the decision when I have been playing the game, to put anonymous mode on, not to be a dick and stuff like that with the anonymity, but to simply just protect myself from just unwanted harassment and shit like that. Because as I've mentioned many times in the past, I have had someone fully look for my personal Facebook profile over losing a match to me in DBD. Like these are the extent. I know a lot of people say that like DBD is not the most toxic community, like generally, and like sure, that might be true, I guess, but I personally believe it is the most toxic community I have personally ever been a part of, like hands down, because of how personal DBD players get about it. The extent that they will go to let you know that they are unhappy with you is ridiculous. They will stalk your Facebook profiles. They will make false pedophile accusations towards you. They will start fucking wars with you over Twitter. Like it's ridiculous. And even with what I saw with Maya Sinister recently, that someone is literally just taking what he said out of context and trying to spin it as him being a racist, when it clearly wasn't a situation like that at all. Like DBD players just feel so miserable to be around. Like they genuinely just seem like very miserable people. Except obviously there's the good ones, the sweet ones that are always fucking nice and stuff like that. And again, I really appreciate the people who have a level-headed attitude towards the game and just, seemingly humans in general. But there's just a strange amount of miserable people that will go out of their way to make sure to try to make you as miserable as they are. And again, like I said, this goes to a personal level with these people, because I have had very personal experiences with people in this game. And before I say what I'm going to say, I just want to I want to preface it by saying that I'm not going to name these people, because I just don't want to start unwanted drama, even though I'm sure if they saw this, they would probably know that I'm talking about them. But not that I want to be a grudge-holding bitch, but knowing from what I have heard in the past, I know that they have done something similar like this about me on their platforms. So as far as I see it, it's fair game, and I know this happened a while ago, but in my opinion, I'm just keeping up the same energy. I have had very personal experiences with people in this game, like making friends with people, and like having those situations lead to bad situations where we fall out and stuff like that, and we have beef with each other, I guess. Or, I mean, I don't personally feel like we have beef, because I feel like beef implies that it's like continuous and that we still have it, because I haven't interacted with these people in a long time. So I don't think we have beef, but maybe they think differently. But I've had very personal situations like that where I make friends with people and we have falling outs. and there's a lot of manipulation and deceit in between, and just like really shitty things that people do, and they try to cover it up with your own misdeeds, because that's always the thing. I don't think I'm perfect in all of these situations. I know I fucked up and made mistakes. I know I was a shitty friend at times, just as I think these people were shitty friends at times to me and other people that I have witnessed. I've noticed that almost everyone that I have befriended in this game, they just, it's the entitlement thing. It goes beyond a surface level thing in this game. It's just like them as people. They do things wrong all the time. They make mistakes. They do shitty things, but it seems to never register with them. But when someone else does something shitty, someone else does something questionable, they let that person know twofold. You have to atone for it. You have to be reminded of it for the next 10 years of your life. Meanwhile, whenever they do something that's justified, or it's based in, you know, just philanthropy or goodwill, but anything you do is evil and malicious, and it's because you're a bad guy. It's because you're a villain. I'm so sick of this mentality. We're all fucking human. We make mistakes, and that's okay. We do better by them. We learn how to be better people. The greatest heroes are born from the greatest villains, right? Redemption is a thing. It exists. I've seen it so many times, and people deserve to have that chance, because we as humans, we're just naturally flawed. We make mistakes. We make bad decisions. Sometimes we do evil things intentionally or unintentionally for whatever reasons we think is right, or just we do them unknowingly. I have done this. I have done that. You've done that. Everyone does that. Everyone's been a bad friend before. Everyone's intentionally hurt or unintentionally hurt. Everyone's betrayed somebody. But I've had so many experiences with people where just, you know, we do these things to each other, we have falling outs, and it just always feels like in the end, I have to be the one that's sorry for everything, even when I know that it wasn't always just me who did something wrong. And I'm sick of it. This is why my perception of DBD being the most toxic community I've ever been a part of, it rolls so deep, you know? A lot deeper than I think it does for most people. Again, I've been a shitty person too. I have wronged people in a lot of ways that I wish I could fucking take back. You know, specifically like to the people that I'm talking about right now, but I know it wasn't always one-sided, and I think deep down they know it too. But there just seems to be such a weird thing, and like, again, this is surface level, and it goes beyond that with DBD players, where just they think everything they do, you know, they're stoic in it, or, you know, they think it's justified, and it's just, sometimes it really would do well to just think what it's like to be the other person, because they're human too, and they have feelings too, and, you know, they're just trying to fucking make it by just like you. And again, if the people, because I mean, if y'all are watching this, you know who you are, obviously. I don't want to sound like I'm holding on to the past, because I think it's, you know, it's not helpful. There's nothing I can do to change it. There's nothing you can do to change it. But, you know, this is more so just to help me put things out on the table, and, you know, just because this has just been a big point for me throughout my history of the game. And again, I know a lot of this falls on me, the decisions I've made, but I know it's not just me. I know I'm not the only one who's guilty of being a shitty fucking friend in person in this game. And to the people who know this is for them, because again, I know if they were to watch this, they would know who they are. You don't have to tear someone else down in order to lift yourself up. Someone else's misdeeds don't make yours right. And I know I've hurt you too, and I'm sorry about that, but the street went both ways. I know it did. I know people on the outside who looked at the situation knew it did. And that's how I felt about it. So we'll leave it at that. I'm sorry, and I hope that means something, but if it doesn't, that's okay too. Now, those were my personal feelings. Aside all that, like I said, false allegations, people throw shit like that at each other when they lose in this game. Facebook stalking I've been a victim of that. There's countless other examples, just the vitriol, the volatility within this community, just people being at each other's necks. If you want good examples of that, go to Reddit. Reddit is full of them. I've heard stories of other people's social media accounts being tracked down, and like the people who are angry at them, like commenting on pictures of them, calling them ugly and shit like that. Like this is what I'm talking about. The extent that people will go to in this game is unrivaled from what I've experienced. It's just never ending. And when people say that they think this community has gotten better, I genuinely do not know what they're talking about. And before someone says like, oh, you probably see this stuff a lot because you play like shit or you tunnel and camp a lot, I'm actually one of those people that goes out of their way to not tunnel or camp people or try to play as like altruistically and fair to other people as I can, which has like gotten me killed so many times, as I'm sure it has for a lot of people, but I like to think that I play very fair, and I see this shit a lot despite that. So again, I don't personally think the toxicity has eased out a little more. I think it's gotten worse. That's what I believe. If you believe differently, that's okay too, because we all have our own experience to go from. My experience may not be yours, and that's fine, and that's valid, but that is my experience. And this kind of reminded me of like another situation too, where I was streaming and like some dude who was mad about me like using what was it, Buckle Up and For the People, like back when that was like the meta. I remember this was the first match I had ever used that perk combo because everyone was talking about it and how fun it was, and I was like, oh, I want to try that, and I used it on a friend in a match, and I proceeded to get humped and camped on hook and BM'd on hook by this person for using this perk combo. And lo and behold, a few months later when I'm streaming, I somehow match with this person, and when I am in the lobby with them as Survivor, they kept saying that I had a mental disorder for some reason, and they called me bad. They kept calling me bad and an idiot and stuff like that, and it was so bizarre. It was so bizarre. I've never experienced things like that in this game, where like, again, it's like the beef thing. Like people have beef with you for some reason, just overplaying a game. I'm just playing the game just like you. And let's. You know what, this feels like a good opportunity to talk about streamers, because holy shit, the glazing in this community is ridiculous. And when I mean glazing, I don't mean like, showing support and stuff like that and admiration for streamers, because that's fucking normal. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm talking about like, streamers who like play this game a lot every day, they're winning their matches and stuff like that, but when they lose one match or have the slightest hint of opposition, they call cheats, they complain, they just throw underhanded comments at the person that they're going against because they're angry, because they can't handle losing for some reason. I don't know like if it's streamer ego or whatever, but I see shit like that happening so much in this community, and it's so cringe. If you're like a notable figure in this community and you go up against people, you will be respected by the fact that you are a notable person in this community, You won't ever be doubted for that. Like, if a streamer is going against Aaron and like Aaron destroys them, right? They'll be like, oh yeah, it's Aaron. This is awesome. He's so good. Blah blah blah. But if you're not that, if you're just a normal person playing the game and you outplay a streamer, they'll call hacks on you. They'll call cheats on you. They'll pull up your profiles and show it to people and stuff like that. They'll make stupid accusations against you about, like, I had a certain experience like this a year or two ago, I think, against a fairly popular streamer. somewhere in like the 30 to 40 viewer range. I remember his name and everything, but I won't say it. You know, obviously, because internet rules or whatever. But let's just say this person's a very good Bubba player. Matched with them with an old pal of mine on, I think it was one of the Thompson, or fuck, what's it called? This was when the MFT meta was still around, where people were running that shit with like Hope and stuff like that. I don't remember exactly what I was running. I know I had MFT. I definitely did not have Hope. At least I don't think I did. But I remember like this person chasing me for like what felt like the majority of the match, because I don't remember doing gens at all in that match, because I think they chased me the whole game. I just remember them play. They weren't using their power at right times, and like, and again, like, I think they're a very good Bubba player from what I saw, but they were just making a consecutive like line of mistakes in using their power, and I was using pallets, you know, running to loops and stuff like that, and they kept calling me bad in the chase. And they finally got me towards the end, and hooked me in the basement. Basement was by one of the doors. My teammates somehow got me out, because admittedly the Bubba did play very he did play very fair at the end. Like, he didn't camp or anything like that. But I remember getting out, and I think I don't know what the hell made me so fast. Perhaps it was just the normal haste off of hook, but I'm not sure if that deactivates in the endgame or not, or if my teammate had borrowed time maybe, or some other speed boost thing, or maybe it was just the regular haste. I don't fucking know. But I just remember getting out of basement, running to the top of the stairs, throwing the shack pallet down, running out the door, and I remember going into this streamer's chat, because the friend I was playing with like went in there, because obviously this person had their name as, you know, their Steam name, and they were basically saying I was a cheater. You know, they pulled my profile up on Steam. Their chat was calling me a cheater. I went in there because I wanted to say GG, and I got met with all those comments. So I saw them calling me a cheater. I told them I wasn't a cheater, and they were like, that's what a cheater would say. A cheater would call themselves not a cheater and shit like that, you know. And that was really like the extent of that. I just said goodbye, GG, and he like gave a sarcastic laugh and then was like, all right, bro. And then like I remember I had like that tab open for a while, and like a match later, he was still talking about me for some reason, how I was sus for being like what he thought was too fast, even though like he kept calling me bad. So like I don't know, very weird. But I just assumed the dude was having a bad day because he was shit talking other people that were coming into his chat. So I don't know what that was, but this is like the type of stuff I'm talking about. I know for a fact, if I was like a notable figure in this community, I would probably never be accused of cheating and stuff like that, because people just glaze the fuck out of streamers in this community, and it's really weird. Like, apparently, like, streamers and, like, again, notable figures are the only ones that can be, like, decent at the game or whatever, and anyone else, just, you know, useless nobodies on the internet like me, we're just cheaters and stuff like that, because, you know, we made the streamer look bad or whatever. It's really weird. And like to a lesser extent too, like because this wasn't as upsetting as the thing I just told you about was, but I went into another streamer's chat recently who went against me on Dead Dog. They were Huntress. They were very, very good. I've been up against them quite a few times, actually. Like, I recognize them a lot of the time when I go up against them. And, you know, I thought it was just, it was a normal game and everything. And, like, towards the end, like, I had a pretty good, decent chase against them. They still killed me, of course, because they're really good, like I said. But I remember going in their chat, in their stream, to watch, to replay over, because I was like, oh my god, I actually had like a somewhat decent last chase, because they destroyed me in my first two. But I remember going to look at that, and like the instant that I dodged like 2 hatchets from them, they were like, oh, this is kind of weird. Is he cheating? Is he moves? You know, like, it's not as egregious as the previous example, but it's just like that mentality is so weird to me, and how prominent it is. Just how weird people are about the opposition having any good play against them. It's so strange to me. Thankfully, that person didn't go through with, you know, calling me a hacker and cheater and stuff like that, because I actually think they took the time to look at my profile and, like, you know, deduce the fact that I'm clearly not a cheater. So I'm thankful for that from them, but it's just strange to me how, like, fast people jump to that. And perhaps that's because, you know, cheaters are a problem in this game, as they are with any other. But I feel like a lot of the time people unjustifiably call hacks and stuff like that. And I know that's just the thing with gaming as a whole, but just seeing, especially, like, bigger figures, you know, who you would hope to have a bit more hesitation with calling things like that, not do that, it's a bit kind of, it's a bit of a bummer seeing it, because I'm sure I'm not the only one who experiences that, because I fucking suck at this game, bro. I'm like, I'd say at best I'm like slightly above average, slightly, just very slightly at my best. Most of the time I'm like slightly below average, if I'm honest with you. Consistency is my biggest issue in this game. Sometimes I can have a 1 second chase, sometimes I can have a, you know, like a minute chase. I'm very inconsistent at this game, and that's why I'm bad. But a lot of the time now, I especially like the last few times I played, like if I go up against a streamer, I just never go in their chat anymore, in their stream, to like see, because I just assume that I'm going to be met with a lot of comments that aren't very nice and stuff like that. Sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised, but a lot of the time it doesn't give me the feelings that I would hope it would. And like, for all of this isn't me condemning anger or rage and stuff like that, because shit like that is so normal in a game, you know? It's normal to get upset and irritated at games. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's just when people take the extra step to go to a personal level with it, when it truly isn't worth it at all, that's when I think it's annoying and it's an issue. Because again, like I said on the more personal portion of this video, being human is okay. We get angry, we get mad at shit, but it's how we deal with those feelings in the moment that I think really say all it needs to say about us as people. And when people push boundaries and cross lines and go to very personal levels with their rage or their despair or their sadness or whatever it may be, I think that's a problem. And even if you do it, in the end, being able to see that you did something wrong, apologize for it, move on, be better, you know, do better, like, that would be okay too, you know, but people just, they do this stuff and they go on to the next person and do the same thing. They go on to the next person and do the same thing. Like, it must be exhausting. I just wish there was more, like, I guess, psychological clarity with people in this community, because this community just, it's so unlikable sometimes. And like, again, like I mentioned earlier, like, the last few times I have played this game, I just play in anonymous mode to feel safe. And it's crazy that I feel like I need to do that to feel safe playing a video game of all things, but it's the truth. I'm completely aware that a lot of that is just me, you know, being a coward and not wanting to interact with these people, and that is a fair criticism. I will take it. But I don't think I should have to feel like I'm being... I don't think I should have to be harassed for playing a video game. I'm sorry. And if it makes me weak not wanting to interact with it, if it makes me a coward or whatever, so be it. But in my book, I'm winning because I don't have to deal with it at all. Because having to put up with other people's shit shouldn't be seen as something that just makes you objectively stronger than people who don't want to. I personally say that there's strength in just ignoring and not even interacting with any of it. And I'm glad that I have started playing in anonymous mode, because I feel like I have enjoyed the game a lot more because of it. Well, you know, again, the last times I played, because, again, I haven't been playing at all, really, recently. DBD is the only game that's ever made me feel that way. DBD is the only game that has ever given me anxiety to load up, you know, to start up. DBD is the only game that I've had these, you know, very personal experiences with. And I think it's coming towards its end now, you know? Which is sort of awesome and not awesome to me. Well, at least in the sense of, like, online presence with the game, you know, kind of. Because I still think, again, I'll still think I'll play it from time to time, but I just have no interest in interacting with its, you know, player base and stuff like that anymore, or, you know, making content about it anymore, because it just doesn't feel fun to me anymore. All these things combined are, I think, have culminated to this point where I don't find much enjoyment in playing the game at all. And even though I know, as always, this has been a very disorganized, just, you know, out of pocket, off the shoulder sort of discussion, which, again, I'm glad I didn't make a script, because I think scripts wouldn't really help me, but it probably would have been more helpful in making more concise points and, you know, diving deeper into what I had to say, or the things I feel about these situations. But we have what we got, and if people have deeper questions for some reason, you can feel free to comment them down below, and I'll give you a more detailed response through texting or commenting, because I am much better at conveying my feelings and thoughts through text, which I'm sure a lot of us are, you know, accustomed to being good at, I guess. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Put your balls in my mouth. But, yeah. This game, DBD, is a very unique game. There's nothing I have played that has ever been like it, and there probably never will be. It's a very unique game, and I think that fact will always bring me back to it somehow eventually. You know, like, personally playing it, because, again, I don't plan to make any more content or anything about this game. But DBD will always hold a special place in my heart, and I will always return to it, probably, at some point. Just to, you know, experience, like, the slight amount of fun you can get out of playing it because of how unique it is. But, yeah, I definitely don't have the drive and passion for it like I used to. And hey, I will say a lot, you know, in like the past year or two, I actually, you know, have, outside of like the negative experiences, I have met very awesome people from DBD who are still my friends to this day, who are still, and a lot of them are like some of my best friends and my best friend and stuff like that, you know. Like, I have an awesome best friend and like catalog of friends that I have met from this game, and I appreciate them a lot. I can't say that this game has been 100% terrible, because it hasn't been. There have been things that have, you know, restored my faith in its community and stuff like that, and I do believe there's still room for that, you know. Like, I don't feel completely hate-filled with this community and stuff like that, but I think for the time being, I feel very exhausted with it. But, you know, that's just, I guess that's just a normal thing of life, you know. You have bad experiences and good experiences with pretty much everything, you know. It's balanced. It never truly goes one way for the rest of time, you know. And again, I want to stress this to the people who the more personal segment was about. I'm not still mad about what happened. It's not like I actively think about it at night and it like fills me with rage. I have come to terms with the fact that I can't change anything. You can't change anything. You know, we're different people now. Time changes everybody. And in just a small amount of time, people can change drastically, because change is unpredictable. So again, I'm sorry for, you know, what I did to hurt you. I know I've said sorry for it before, and again, I don't want to harp over shit, but I never felt like my sorries were acknowledged. But no, I am sorry for what it means, and I believe in it. And if you don't, then that's okay. You know, you live life the way you want to live it. I'm sorry, and for what it's worth, I forgive you, and I see why you did what you did, for the most part anyway. But I don't want to keep going down this road where I feel like I have drama with people in this game, because I just want to live my life, bro. I'm tired of all this shit. And to the rest of the DBD community and like behavior and stuff like that, y'all can be awesome sometimes, but sometimes y'all really need to take a step back. The game should be fun. It should be fun at the end of the day. We should be having fun. That's the point of video games, right? I feel like along the way, like DBD has truly kind of lost that feeling of fun, you know? And I feel like even more so, DBD has kind of lost its identity, like the game as a whole. I don't feel excited for new chapters anymore, really. I don't feel excited for new patches. It's all just kind of like whatever to me. Even though, like I said earlier, game design just feels like a back and forth experience in this game. And like, I don't know, it's just, there's a plethora of things that I have issues with in this game. And like a lot of the time it borders from me not caring about it at all to me caring when it gets really stupid or whatever. But God, just so many conflicting and contradictory feelings about this game. I thought I'd be a lot better at putting this out all out on the table and having it make sense, but while I do feel a lot better actually for talking about this stuff, I feel like I still could have done it better, you know, or addressed things better, or just, but again, not perfect, not by any stretch of the word, but I do feel a lot of satisfaction in this video, despite how broken and disjointed it is, because I feel like this is kind of the closure I've needed for myself with this game for quite a while now. And yeah, I still, again, like I've said many times, I still will find times where I enjoy this game, I'm sure, but in terms of just, you know, the community and interacting with them and stuff like that, I don't have any drive to do it anymore. I just don't. Though there are good experiences and like they make it feel worth it sometimes, it just feels like the bad outweighs the good here. And I know that's a really negative thought process to have, but it's just, at some point you need to do what's best for you and what's best for your enjoyment of something. And I think doing this will make me, it will probably make me like Dead by Daylight a lot more, to be honest. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. I am going to make videos and stuff, hopefully more. think I'm gonna be jumping back to more horror games like I used to do, because I've been having a lot of fun with horror games, like a lot of fun. Dark Deception, dude, I've been having so much fun with Dark Deception. But yeah, I think that's where I go for here in terms of my online presence. And you know, maybe one day I will come back to DBD, who fucking knows. But as for now, that is not in the cards. Again, that one video I talked about might happen, that one exception, the more artistic DBD video I mentioned earlier, but don't count on it. I don't think I'm going to make it, but I might if I get the spontaneous urge to do so. So again, no hard feelings to the people that know that I'm talking about them if they watch this video. I'm over that shit. I just wanted to kind of put it out there to like share my experience with people, because a part of me kind of wants to see if people have experienced similar things, you know, with more grounded personal experiences like that, and just having to experience the community as a whole and how, you know, just mean it can be a lot of the times, and wanting to get people's opinions on how they feel about game changes and stuff like that too, because again, game changes never were really that bothersome to me until recently, because it just feels like they're so just unstable, and like they shift the game too much for no reason sometimes, and when there's other issues that exist, and it's a lot. But yeah, let me know if you agree, let me know if you don't agree, tell me if I should choke on a chode, whatever you want to. I'm completely aware that videos like this aren't very popular among a lot of people, that discussions like this cause a lot of contention and stuff like that, and I'm ready for it, I think. Famous last words. I just want to move on from here. I want to have a better experience with DBD and just gaming as a whole, and I feel like letting go of all these feelings does that for me. So I'm sorry for the rambling, everyone. I'm sorry if this video is unlikable or my opinions are unlikable. You know, I'm trying my best and speaking from what I think is true and what my experience is, but you know, that's all I can do. And I'm completely aware that on some of these points I'm probably just flat out wrong and stuff like that, but I think it'll be fun to look back on this video in the future if my feelings change, you know, to, you know, have my feelings in the moment right now documented with this video, and coming back to this later to kind of see where, you know, I was and where I am at that point in time, you know. So I think this video will be interesting for that as well. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me rant. Thanks for listening to me get way too personal about what should just be a fun video game. But yeah, this is my experience with DBD so far, and this is how I feel. I'm sure in the future it will change, hopefully for the better, but we'll see what happens. Time will tell all, right? I hope you all have a good day, every single one of you. Hope you have fun out there in the fog and stuff like that, and yeah, cock dicks.